Bungie HQ. We're broadcasting live from beautiful Bellevue, Washington, today with our stream that's going to be talking through some of the awesome stuff you're going to be able to check out just next week when Act 1 of episode Heresy launches on February 4th. Now, worry not, you're not going to just have to sit here and listen to me. My name's Andy, I work on the social media team here at Bungie, but I've got some amazing
trying to watch the video,
to go ahead and share some of the finer details of all the cool stuff we're going to be checking out today. So, to not waste any time and show you all what you came here to see, let's go ahead and introduce everyone so we can get to it. First things first, this gentleman to my left, a brand new addition to our show. If you've joined us before, you may recognize his face, or not recognize his face, rather. The one and only Mr. Nico Stevens, narrative architect here at Bungie. Nico, how's it going, man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Andy?
Doing well, thank you. Obviously, your first time joining us. For anyone that may not have followed you on social media or may be wondering what it is a narrative architect does, can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do here?
Sure. So I joined Bungie. I joined Bungie back in Season of Undying, like right at the tail end of that, and I've been working on seasonal content from then up until now and doing the episode stuff.
Yeah.
And I've done a few annual releases here and there, did some Final Shape stuff. People might know my work from Presage or Warlord's Ruin or some of those.
Presage is like my favorite exotic mission of all time. I'm not even kidding.
I'm a little biased, but I do love it.
It's so good. All right, we can talk about that at another time, but thank you for being here, Nico. We appreciate it. Next to him, someone who's joined us in the past, actually, if you joined us for our episode Echoes stream, you probably recognize his face immediately. The one and only Ryan Harris, senior designer here at Bungie. Ryan, welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well, man. Thank you very much. For anyone that maybe didn't join us on the last Echo stream or is just seeing you for the first time, can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do here?
For sure, yeah. So I'm a senior activity designer here at Bungie. I've been around since Season of the Plunder. Folks may know my content that I've worked on from most recently the Battlegrounds, from Echoes, and then before that Savathûn Spire, and then the Defiant Battlegrounds.
Yeah, another one today to add to the best hits, obviously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here, Ryan. We appreciate it. And last but very not least, someone who needs no introduction, a friend to all Guardian kind, a voice of all of you fine folks out in chat, here in the studio, the Youngblood Dillionaire himself, Dylan Gaffner. Dylan, thanks for being here, man.
Thank you. How are you doing, Andy? Question number 3.
Doing
That's
so
insane
well,
work.
thank you. Exclamation point, period. To that same end, you are the global community lead here. Can you tell the folks at home that may not have accosted you on Blue Sky or anything like that, just a little bit about who you are and what it is you do here?
Yeah, I mean, we're listening. I'm that guy. Bread, #meme. But ultimately, yeah, we on the community team, we make sure to field all your feedback, get our roadmap of comms together for what's in a TWID, how can we set expectations, what's all the cool stuff going on in Destiny in the game or outside of it too. Speaking of outside of it, I want to do a quick shout out to MacPit. We have a Game to Give charity marathon going on right now. Actually, his time slot coincides with ours. So throughout this, we're going to be dropping links in chat to his charity page. Awesome. So if you want to support a good cause, help out the Bungie Foundation and all the people in need, hit up that link, check out the incentives, and donate some money if you can. If you can't, totally fine. Spread the word.
And hey, do yourself a huge favor while you're out there. Give Mactix a follow. Steal some of his builds. I know I do. I mentioned it last stream. All right, so that is enough about us. Let's talk about the cool things that you guys have been building. Obviously, we're about to go ahead and arrive at Act 1 of Heresy, but before we get there, Nico, I'd love to ask you really quickly, what got us to where we are today? Obviously, we're concluding episode Revenant, but a lot has occurred. Can you catch anyone up at home about what happened last time?
Yeah, so the story of the Echoes, which the episodes encompass, it was kicked off from the Final Shape. So at the end of the Final Shape, we kill the Witness.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers, sorry.
That Witness is dead.
So we take out the Witness, and from the Witness and from the Pale Heart, we see all of these Echoes like burst out and start flying across Sol.
Yeah.
The first one that we encountered was in the hands of Maya Sundaresh. We dealt with her, she escaped. Second one we encountered was in the hands of Fikrul. We dealt with him, he did not escape. And then the third one that we are encountering is going to be here in the Dreadnought. And after it left the Pale Heart, a very specific dread that we're going to be seeing this episode gave chase to it. So we're going to be dealing with the Dread and the Taken and the Hive all revolving around this third Echo.
Excellent, very exciting. All right, so we
The Dread
have
got it?
up on screen here in just a moment, I think,
So all
the
of us
key
are-
art now for this next
Oh.
episode. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
But Nico,
Damn.
can you
That
tell
looks
us
sick.
just a little
Is
bit
that
about
Oryx
what
on
we're
the
seeing
top?
here?
Is that Oryx?
Yeah. So I think the first thing that's probably going to
It looks like
you know it's a Hive
is
Knight.
the ghostly visage of Oryx peeking over the top.
Yeah, that does.
So Oryx is I'll just say Oryx is back to some capacity, right?
Yeah.
And the Echo has a lot to do with that. So not only are the Guardians jumping through in this first act, but they're dealing with this old foe that has been dredged up from the bones of the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And I don't want to reveal too much.
Oh,
but
no,
yeah, we're going to be clashing.
The Guardians will be there very soon. But so we're dealing obviously again with the Taken King again in some form. So we have some old foes returning. But before we go ahead and move on into gameplay and dive into that, we have some old allies returning as well. Can you tell us about some of the folks we're going to be working with this time around as well?
Yeah. So our main cast right now is Eris Morn, which is our resident witch hive expert. A lot of people know her from Season of the Witch, aptly named, or even further back.
It's not a shade of
Season
words.
of Arrivals is kind of like the first time that she jumped back into this new sort of saga story arc. So we have Eris Morn. She is, as I said, our resident hive expert. We have the Drifter, her faithful companion, who's following alongside and helping us kind of pick apart what the Taken are doing here.
Yeah.
I think I said at some point before that he always has his finger in the weird of the universe.
He certainly does.
And there's some weird going on here.
Excellent.
And then
Faithful
finally,
companion.
we have Deputy Commander Sloan.
Right.
Okay.
And Sloan is our Titan representation here. People will remember her from Season of the Deep or even the Red War. And she has been afflicted with this like Taken corruption that we saw back in Season of the Deep. And
Sloan's
she's
back.
learned how to sort of hold it back, but also utilize it to make her stronger. So she is going to be teaching us some of that.
Yeah, that's we're going beyond once again.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say. So we've obviously got a whole new cast of friends and enemies to go up against. But really quickly as well, something we were talking about a little bit earlier in the show is the player journey as well. It's something you guys are really excited about this time around. Can you tell us a little bit about how players are going to be experiencing some of these quests?
Yeah. So. Okay, so players have been talking a lot about the structure of the player journey and how they'd kind of like to see it shaken up a bit, right? So this is going to be kind of one of our first steps into trying to make that happen in a more tangible way.
Cool.
So you will still notice some of those elements of like returning to a vendor or something like that, but you're also going to notice that we're doing a lot more bespoke, spread out delivery for these beats.
Cool.
You're going to find characters like in the midst of a mission sometimes. There's some new tech that I don't want to spoil. I want players to see it in the game. But there's some new tech having to do with the way that we would holo project characters in that sort of projection unit that you would find in the helm. We're expanding that out so that it's a little bit more versatile, and it is more cognizant of where players want to be and less about like having to return to this one spot and kind of loop through the helm over and over again.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys. Obviously, I'm sure our audience of Guardians who have let Dylan know and his compatriots loud and clear what we're looking for are happy to be hearing that. So that's exciting.
Let me go to the helm. Let me talk to this character. Let me go back to the helm. Let me talk to this character.
Is there a holo projector somewhere in there?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, really exciting. So as we kind of move into that player journey, we're going to be working on something called the Path of Resolve. Can you tell us just a little bit about what that is before we dive into the gameplay here in just a moment?
Yes. So there is an event that happens at the beginning of the episode, which people will see very, very soon after the launch. And this sort of kicks off. I'm going to choose my words very carefully here.
Redacted.
Redacted, yes.
This redacted event sort of kicks off Sloane's motivation for teaching us about the Taken power that she has been holding back. And so that is the path of resolve here. She's going to be teaching us how to fight fire with fire. We're going to be going into the Dreadnought, taking some control of that Taken energy, taking some control of those old hive magics, and wielding them using our light and using our paracausality, wielding that new power against our enemies.
Very nice. All right, we're going to be obviously keeping Sloan very busy with that. But speaking of, we actually have our requisite local fire team here in-house in the activity as well. Ryan, this is the Nether. This is the new activity that's going to be arriving with Act 1 of episode Heresy. Can you tell us just a little bit about what this is for starters as we go ahead and kind of dive into it?
Yeah, so the Nether is a 3-player activity, and we are back on the Dreadnought's patrol zones.
That machine
and we'll
gun
be
looks
exploring the
sick.
Dreadnought, rooting out the Taken
I
hive
know,
and dread
it's
corruption that are
Hammerhammer.
taking place and taking hold inside the Dreadnought itself as we go through these spaces. And the Nether itself is a uniquely different type of activity. We're really trying to baseline some inspiration for this activity was looking at Shattered Realm, the Coil, and of course the Dreadnought's patrol spaces. Of course, we are in the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just for starters, what you're actually doing inside the Dreadnought is baseline.
Why is Gemini
control
not
zones are
healing?
randomized and varied. The encounters inside are varied and randomized as well. So time over time, when you launch into the activity, it's going to be a different starting bubble, different encounters, and different events and objectives for you to engage with and accomplish as you're exploring the Dreadnought itself.
Yeah. What kind of like modifiers would you say players are going to go up against in here? Because surely they're not just going to go into the Dreadnought and get a warm welcome necessarily.
Yes. Yeah, so the Nether has some very unique modifications to it that we're experimenting with. So first off, players do not regenerate health. And to compensate for that, we are doing something special where we're providing players with plus 300 bonus health baseline to their original HP values and plus 75 shield value. So alongside that, we really want to make your health regeneration or your health as like a resource as you're fighting through this, as we are looking at this as a very rogue-light experience, and we need resources to contend with to make and hit that rogue-light. Emphasis on light there, of course, because this is still a very uniquely Destiny experience.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of things contributing to that as well. So we do have ammo scarcity as well, so players won't be getting as much ammo, but there will be ways and avenues to get health and ammo drops in the activity, as well as boons that will improve your power over time as you engage with the activity.
Nice. That progressive sort of idea of like power and building up how strong you are as you're moving through the Nether, that roguelite experience, it's also reflective of that narrative of like building yourself up, pushing deeper into the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought is resisting you. It's trying to make sure you can't like move towards the Echo and figure out what's going on. And this is you finding ways to like pierce the veil and move beyond their barriers.
Yeah, new foes and new challenges obviously warrant new strategies along the way as well.
Absolutely.
And then you saying like ammo and health is kind of like a resource. So you're not seeing it drop off of enemies and stuff like that, but there are things that you can find like a resource and collect and all that.
Yeah, so we have destination materials. We have urns and pots kind of placed around everywhere, and also destination chests that players can find. And when you break these destructible pots, they'll explode into like a rain of health, ammo, heavy ammo, sometimes boons, sometimes revive tokens. I forgot to mention we are using revive tokens here as a resource as well, so you really need to manage, but like there are avenues to get more revive tokens. There is more avenues to get health and ammo. So we really want players to explore the Dreadnought and encourage that exploration by looking for these urns, looking for the chests, and like searching for those boons, because there's multiple avenues and like ways for players to search out and go get them.
Yeah, and I mean that resource scarcity is really going to make you want to chase those down. I can imagine that health is a sight for sore eyes.
Absolutely.
To that end as well, actually, obviously you mentioned we're back at the Dreadnought, but I can't imagine it's the exact same one. Can you tell us a little bit about how the Dreadnought has changed?
Yeah, so since the Echo has hit the Dreadnought, a lot of the spaces have changed and like modified. A lot of the skin of the Dreadnought ship has like peeled back, revealing bone and chitin and showing off new secrets, new pathways. So you are in familiar spaces if you've played the Dreadnought before, but there is a lot of new, interesting, unique pathways. Things have changed. Things have become abnormally different.
W troll. W troll.
And that's the last we ever saw of that party ever again. As mysteriously as they arrived, they were gone.
And we've kind of like, for players who are wanting that explorative aspect, right? We've kind of like separated out the modes a little bit, so people can go in and they can explore the Dreadnought, but people who are like looking to just bust through the activity and get loot, they have a different match-made mode, right?
Absolutely. So the Nether has currently 3 modes. So there's the Nether exploration for those solo type experiences, but they can bring their fire team in as well if they'd like to. And this is more of like that patrol-esque experience that you're looking for. I want to explore at my own like pace. I want to look for secrets. I want to just engage with the space like it was a patrol space back in the day. It still is the Nether experience of where you're going from. You're playing through the 3 bubbles and there's escalating difficulty, but we do grant to you in that mode a multitude of revives. So you have a way larger pool of revives, so you can make mistakes.
Sure.
It's just for those players who want to like explore at their own whim, play at their own pace. And then additionally, there's also damage modifiers for those players when they're engaging with bosses as a solo player, so they can actually tackle those those hurdles as they come,
Nice.
and also some modifiers on like how many enemies are spawning, so they don't need to like get swarmed by every single enemy in the world.
You can really take in the skybox for a little while and hang out with your buddies. Yeah.
And then additionally, if you do get lost, because this is, we didn't want to overclutter the spaces with objectives, because there is a lot of things to do, and there's a lot of different things to do in every single bubble and location that you go to in the Dreadnought. If you do get lost, you just pop out in your ghost, and there'll be a bunch of star objective icons that'll like let you know where you should be looking and where you should be going for the next spot. Additionally, talking back to those different modes, we do have the match-made mode on advanced baseline difficulty, and then we do have expert as well.
Very cool. Okay, so plenty of challenges for the Guardians that want to undertake those. Make sure they're pushing not only themselves, but the opportunity to get loot as far as they possibly can.
Absolutely. And on that loot note as well, every time you complete a bubble, there is a chest checkpoint, so you do get loot checkpoints essentially. And like the average runtime for like a bubble is 8 to 12 minutes, but you do get the most loot by completing the entire activity as a whole.
Got it.
But there are checkpoints for players who just want to jump in for like 8 to 12 minutes, hit that loot checkpoint, like, okay, I'm out for now, or players who want to just like rush through it and get all the loot at every single end of every single bubble checkpoint.
Very cool. Okay. All right. And then also, I think, in addition to the modifiers we're talking about, the boon system is one that I heard you mention a little bit earlier. I'd love to actually kick off the conversation about that. I think we maybe saw the folks in chat that were eagle-eyed that were keeping an eye on the modifiers may have seen something a little bit earlier before. But can you tell us a little bit about the boon system?
Yeah, so the boons here are, we have a multitude of boons. We have minor boons, major boons, and corrupted boons. So minor boons are minor stat increases that are pretty much just increase your power and incrementally stack. They can stack up to 10, and they're just like the typical like increased light damage, increased darkness damage, movement speed on kills. Some are like based on health and regenerate health, and are typical like mobility increases, but like things that'll make you stronger over time and allow you to tackle the more difficult bubbles as you approach them.
Yeah.
And then additionally, we have major boons.
Yeah.
And then from there, they're like actually like more larger gameplay modifiers that actually affect your abilities and your actions.
Yeah.
And of course now, we do have Eric.
That's right. Yes, actually. So anyone at home that may have noticed, our good friend Nico, please give him a shout out in chat and let him know that you love him, has stepped out of the scene for just a moment, and we are now joined by gameplay feature lead Eric Smith. Eric, how's it going, man?
It's going well. How are you?
So doing well, thank you. You guys are all so nice today. I'm so taken aback. For anyone that may not have seen you in the Vidocs or anything like that, can you tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do here at Bungie as a gameplay feature lead?
Yeah, sure thing. So I'm Eric Smith, gameplay feature lead on Destiny 2. So I help create the game's abilities, kind of anything the player can do, the game feel of the game, build crafting, kind of general sandbox stuff, and kind of make the controller disappear into your hands while you're playing.
Yeah, the many tools we use, you're helping go ahead and make sure that they're all available for us.
For the mouse and keyboard as well.
Right, I'm just sitting there tapping on an empty desk. That's how my Trials teammates feel. So, we're talking about the boon system. You obviously had a big hand in this as well. Can you tell us a little bit about, what this system is for and maybe about the boons the players are going to have available?
Yeah, so there are a bunch of boons available. There are the minor boons that you mentioned, and then there's the major boons. So the major boons are more gameplay affecting, and they will do things like, kind of like we saw in the Pale Heart with the Traveler's Blessings, right? Mm-hmm. Where you pick something up and it kind of gives you a new ability almost. Mm-hmm. One of those in the Pale Heart was Solar Slide, where you run and slide and a solar wave would go out and blow things up.
Yeah.
In this, we have Solar Slide as well, but we also have Stasis Slide, where you run and you slide, and a big stasis wave comes out and makes crystals and freezes things, and you can blow them up yourself. And there's stuff that is going to allow you to heal more effectively. There's looks like this one's interesting. Reduces damage per piece of episodic armor worn.
Oh, cool.
It is quite significant boost as well.
Yeah. So there's a bunch, and then finally we have the kind of Kiss Curse boons, as we call them, but they have an official name. What was that?
Corrupted boons. And
here we go. We're looking at one right now.
Yeah. So these corrupted boons are offered at the same time as major boons, as players can only obtain 5 to 6 major boons / corrupted boons per run through. Those are granted to players once randomly at one of the 3 encounters inside of the bubble, and then again at the end of the bubble once they complete it. And there's some ritual loop stuff too that will allow them to get another one at the start of a bubble or the start of a run through. But these Kiss Curse, or corrupted boons, as we call them, essentially give you a great bonus or increase to a specific thing at the cost of a major negative. So one, for example, here that I'm really fond of is Glass Cannon, which increases all damage massively, while also increasing all the damage you take.
Yeah. So, which is also, that's the dev name internally, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the dev name.
So if you don't find one specifically named Glass Cannon, we are obviously, we hang out in our own Word docs and Excel sheets quite a bit.
Yeah, that's true. And that one is interesting. It's an interesting choice that you can make since the kind of like the risk to reward ratio, right? Because you have non-regenerating health in here, you really have to come at each.
Wait, is that a? That's a healing for a mono rifle.
It is.
And make sure that, if I take damage from this enemy or that enemy, it has the potential to stick with me unless I can find a healing source.
You really got a fire team option too, where it's like every time you're offered those major boons, your team.
Yeah, it should have been YT. It's a support frame.
So it's like, oh hey, 2 of us are going to do that glass cannon, or that external.
Yeah.
And then another person is going to do, oh hey, every time I do a finisher, things are volatile around me, and I get my grenade back, so I can spam more of those, keep you a bit safer when you get swarmed by things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And it's also good to know in the health regeneration aspect, the gameplay and sandbox team has tuned a lot of the abilities and weapons that do heal players, so they're not extremely overpowered. So there's been a wide tuning pass on all of this entirely. So you're gonna see when you're trying to heal up your teammate with one of our new support auto rifles.
Yeah.
It's gonna take some time, but it does work and it is very efficient and very helpful, especially the abilities. So you're definitely going to spec into healing builds.
Oh, man, I have to just give a shout out to the team on like Season of the Deep. We were going deep into the oceans of Titan, and now it feels like we're going deep into space, and like the pressure, you can feel it, tentacles taking energy. Like they knocked it out of the park with the vibe here. I'm feeling a little claustrophobic, but also like,
just getting
feel it.
Pulled deeper into the labyrinth, right? Yeah, absolutely. So, in addition to, there's obviously modifiers you're going to be facing as a Guardian, as a fire team. There'll be boons available to you, but this episode as well is going to bring with it a bevy of new gear between both armor and weapons. Now, obviously, for the keen-eyed Guardians in chat who are watching, there's obviously some seasonal armor, some episodic armor sets that we have here that you can go ahead and check out firsthand. But I think, kind of in the spirit of this activity and build crafting, let's talk about some of the weapons. Actually, there's one here on screen. Obviously, this is our new support frame auto rifle. Given that health is such a precious resource in this activity, Eric, can you tell us a little bit about this one?
Yeah, so this is Adamantite. This is our new Strand support auto, and it has some really unique features. One of those is that when I heal enemies, so these support autos, there's 2 of them in the game now. When I hip fire at an ally, it'll send out kind of healing rounds, right? And then if I need to, shoot an enemy right next to that ally, I can just ADS and go full offense, right?
Yeah.
But the healing from this, because you're shooting out strand rounds, if you heal an ally repeatedly, it'll actually cause them to sprout little unravel seekers, which kind of turns them into this like short-term, strand turret.
Throw your friend as a grenade into the fight, right?
Cover them in Telesto bolts, put it in, but now it's like, oh hey, I'm healing you and making you.
Let your hunter friend with the Caliban's Liar's Handshake roll run in there and just keep them alive, right?
And that's why I'm so excited about this activity, because we've kind of introduced all these kind of healing things, but in a lot of the game, like I can just hide behind a box and heal, right? And here you can see our health isn't regenerating. So we need to really think about, maybe there is a dedicated healer on your team. Maybe there's multiple allies using.
That takes forever.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, that build crafting is kind of transcending now beyond yourself, just to like per activity, per fire team, whatever you've got. So this one's obviously going to be a ton of fun, but that is far from the only weapon that's being added around. As far as the episodic weapons, are there any others in particular you want to call out?
There are. I do actually want to talk about this one with one more thing.
Oh,
so
please.
This weapon can roll Slice and Tear, which are 2 perks that sever enemies.
Yeah.
It's not often we get a primary legendary weapon that can debuff in multiple ways.
Yeah.
And
Adapt.
that's going to play into things like the artifact this season, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
So there's Adamantite, which is a really solid weapon. And then let's look at Psychopomp. So Psychopomp is our new area denial.
Someone said name
Such a good name.
I love it. Yeah.
It's okay, buddy.
Psychopomp. Yeah. Let's go.
So Psychopomp, so these area denial grenade launchers, the fantasy of these things is like a flamethrower, right? We don't have flamethrowers in the game, but this is as close as you can get to a flamethrower. So I imagine I'm using one every time I use this thing.
I'm going to now.
This thing has a really cool new perk on it that keys into our new arc keyword bolt charge, which we'll also talk about in a bit. And also it works with amplified.
2040.
So this thing, if you are arc build crafted this season and arc has received.
No, man, not power level again.
Bro, 2040.
It's one we'll definitely get to see our fire team put it to good use.
It's like normal, it's like
Someone
20
who's been
power
building
level more.
denial grenade launchers into my loadout. I can't wait. Honestly, the second I learned this was on
And
the
the-
docket, I was so
Nah.
excited.
The folks that have been
That's
working on
sturdy.
these weapons too,
Yeah.
like the general
Sturdy.
look of them, it goes along with what you were saying of, oh hey, the Dreadnought's kind of peeling back. If you look at the weapon,
Yeah.
you can see like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
there's like
The bone of
there's
the
the
weapon.
core.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We didn't get an
Uh,
increase
actually,
last
Dylan, while
season,
I've
so
got
we're
you,
getting
also,
one this season.
The previous one on Adamantite, that one was an adept weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me pull out my handy dandy notebook.
There we go.
What was that exotic
Screen
weapon in the
grab,
kinetic
screen
slot?
grab.
What the?
Yeah.
But yeah, you can notice that for this go of our episodic weapons, you can earn adept weapons, and these
pull
are
up the
we're
notebook and
considering
turn
or
off
calling
the
them our heretical arsenal.
Got it.
Bro, so they
Heresy,
better make a
heretical.
count
Like, we're
for
going
that
deep
one.
into
It's
this.
not
theme.
theoretical, it's heretical. Love it.
Okay.
You can see that it has a new or a different treatment to the colors. It's kind of like the holofoils from Into the Light.
Okay, yeah.
Not so much exactly that of, hey, it's an ornament, but like this has the base die and all that, and it looks really good. Shout out to the team. But you can also notice there are multiple perks in each column. There's actually an extra
Actually
origin
nice
trait
seeing
as
new
well.
fucking models,
Shout
bro,
out to
instead of
King King,
just
all that kind of stuff.
The
from a raid near
breakneck
you.
model.
This is the breakneck model,
But
yeah.
there's a very interesting ways of
It
earning
doesn't
these
matter,
weapons. So
bro.
you're gonna
They
be doing
overhauled
these
it so
activities,
much,
upping the
I don't
difficulty.
care.
You're going to be exploring the Dreadnought and looking for
Shit
these,
does not look like
as well with
recycled
the,
content.
with the
They gave it
episodic
the
weapons,
King's
they're gonna
Fall
be
origin
new,
trades.
fragile mods.
Ah.
So they're called fragile because these will be expiring at the close of the episode, but they're going to give you pretty insane bonuses to your outgoing power. So not necessarily the power of the weapon, but the actual like versatility of it.
Yeah.
One of these, I have the power of resolve. Rapid hits. They create Taken Seekers. They're really good against champs.
Yeah.
So that's an example. There are going to be a couple at launch and then more coming with each act.
Yeah.
But these will be great in Nightfall. This will be great in higher content.
Champions and shambles.
Yeah. And then for when you're going in and earning these weapons, there was a ton of feedback, and we absolutely heard you. We're listening about the tonic system. So there are things with like the user experience was a bit rough of having to go back in, create more tonics, trigger them in the middle of activities because they were running out.
Yeah.
The team really took that to heart. They want to make sure that there's agency in how you're earning these weapons. So they're going to be making it through the Tome of Want. You can kind of target these weapons. You don't need to go in and do this a ton of times. You can say, hey, I want to go for this auto rifle. I want to go for this grenade launcher, linear fusion rifle, and I really want to be going for that to try to get these heretical versions.
Yeah.
So effectively, like, I don't want to say more loot because it's not going to be like, oh, hey, you're getting 10 times more.
Yeah.
But it's going to feel like, oh, hey, I have a goal of getting this loot, and now I'm going to go and play the game and get what I'm looking for.
Definitely. No, it's super exciting, honestly. Just having those more opportunities to just break your loadouts out a little bit, find new ways to go ahead and really excel, especially given the challenges we're going to be going up against on the Dreadnought.
And with the fragile mods, like it's baking into that exploration. Like you were saying, how do you find them again?
Yeah, so they can be found through secrets and chests found in the Nether. They're spread out. They're hidden pretty well, but I imagine folks will find them over time or through some YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But
Rick Hack is here.
We're gonna wait
and
for.
we're gonna-
we won't miss it this time. Fallout, obviously. If you could make some guides for us, we'd greatly appreciate it. So,
Isword.
Isword, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
One of the best communities out there.
Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, I mean, the last keyword I want to throw on there is aspirational.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we want to have tools that players want to go and find, want to earn, and increase their power.
Yeah.
Not
we've got a
gonna
couple
lie,
more
area
items that we wanna
denial
talk
frame
about
being
for
arc is
prizes
kinda
and stuff,
fire.
But we have
Imagine
a
it was
brief
one
reprieve
shot.
from combat. I'd love to actually go ahead.
Or jolting feedback.
Your, aspects, Eric.
Yeah.
Let's
I
go ahead
don't
and
know
take a
what
look
it
really
has.
quickly.
I'm just praying
we
it's
got our
good.
friendly neighborhood warlock here up first. Can you tell us about the new
Yeah.
aspects the Guardians are going to have this time around?
Absolutely. So the Warlock has a new aspect called Ionic Sentry. And Ionic Sentry, when you defeat targets with kinetic or arc weapons or arc abilities, you kind of charge this thing that you see in low gauge on your screen, much like Gunpowder Gamble, if you're familiar with that.
Absolutely.
When that's full, it grants you a bonus grenade that you can then throw out. On impact, it blinds anything nearby, and then spawns this like little arc turret, right? That zaps things, chains to different things.
Yeah.
And every time it zaps something, it accumulates a stack of bolt charge.
Yeah.
So bolt charge is our new arc keyword. And what this does is when you have a stack of bolt charge, any damage you do, it's going to give you additional stacks.
Okay.
Once you hit 10 stacks, your next ability damage is going to create this giant lightning bolt that comes out of nowhere, hits the ground, and just like fries everything nearby, right? What Ionic Sentry can do is not only generate the stacks, but because it is ability damage in itself, it can expend the stacks.
Yeah.
So you send this thing out, and it is doing work.
You're throwing a meat grinder at them, basically. An arc-flavored meat grinder at anyone foolish enough to cross it. But also, I mean, given that's going to be using the new keyword as well, like it's not just going to be for mobs of trash. It's like you can throw this down against the big bosses and obviously have it blind them and do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, this is great against bosses because any healthy targets, it's going to be continually zapping them, granting you those stacks, and then discharging the stacks as well.
Yeah. All right.
It's like an offensive version of the Stasis Warlock turret too. So it's like, let's say you stack them and you're going into onslaught, so you have your freeze. It's like, I need these enemies to leave me alone.
Yeah.
And you come in and you're like, it's time we're gonna boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew, man. They're gone.
Sure, but it also, if you are in trouble, kind of like the stasis thing, like let's hit the pause button. The blinding aspect of this, I can just kind of throw it out and smoke bomb and hide, right? If I need to. Yeah.
All right, so Warlocks obviously have a brand new tool to add to their toolbox.
Yeah,
but,
Bleak Watcher's
the other
coming
classes
off.
do as well. Which one should we show them next?
Let's stick with the arc thing. So let's go to Titan. So Titan, we have Storm's Keep. In this is like a barricade modification. So any barricade you drop, it's going to kind of be electrified. And standing behind this electrified is going to passively accumulate bolt charge on you.
Yeah.
So I drop this on the ground. I start shooting enemies from behind my barricade. Let's say it's a rally barricade, and we're like, we just reworked Titan's ramparts, the barricade you can shoot through.
Oh, yeah.
And that is going to be kind of building those stacks up and discharging them as I'm firing my weapon.
Okay.
Like I said, bolt charge is usually only ability damage that discharges it.
Yeah.
But as long as I'm standing behind Storm's Keep, my weapon damage is going to discharge it as well.
Got it.
So it kind of turns any weapon you want into like a quasi Thunderlord.
Not necessarily an arc weapon then in this case.
Correct,
It's
yeah.
exciting. Okay.
Oh yeah,
So,
it's time
this
for
one
the
is-
Titan
this one's
Thunderlord,
spicy.
bro.
I think we're going to see this in a lot of damage phases, and we can play this all we want.
There's a lot of theoreticals we can dive into, right? Totally.
In dev, and then we drop it into the world, and we'll see how we need to tune this thing. Maybe it's up, maybe it's down, but we want it to be powerful, and I think it is powerful.
There's a lot of players saw this preview in the TWID. I think it was last week, and they immediately noticed the animation for the Titan was changed, right? So when you went down to put down the barricade, it was like this big thunderclap, like, hey, I'm gonna charge everybody up, right?
Yeah, and the animation went through a lot of different kind of versions. We put so much love into all of these abilities because it's in the game forever, and we want it to be right. So there were like slams and like.
Did he just say
raises
in the
and,
game
We
forever?
ended up with a thunderclap, and our animators
Yes.
are godlike.
Okay,
Shadowman
buddy.
YT, calm down. It's not happening,
So,
bro.
but then it's animation. It's like the VFX artists. How
He
to
would
time
never
everything,
delete a
animation and
subclass, bro.
sound Design people have to.
They never remove
time it
content
to
from my
that,
video
and then
game. Never.
Test has to make sure we're not breaking anything. And it's like
Me with
we-
my top 3 arc
so much
lock,
work
bro.
goes into even one
Never
aspect
remove
like this, and we're really
abilities.
excited to.
I want
to
OG arc lock back with the fucking chaining. Bro, that shit was so fire.
But now we've got obviously
miss
one
Arc
more
Lord.
for our friendly neighborhood hunters like myself.
Yeah.
As
Best
well.
for last.
This one will be able to get you out of sticky situations as well. So
Yes. So Arcstrider already has for arc aspects, but they needed one in their void slot. So we gave Night Stalker on the prowl. And shout out to the boy Danny Nanny who is the designer for this one.
Yeah.
So on the prowl, you kind of become a hit person, right?
Yeah.
And whenever you go invisible, like you get a contract to kill something in the area.
Yeah.
And that thing is marked, and a little, a target shows up.
That shit will be used by Save Me
If you
1v1s.
successfully complete that contract and whack that jabroni, right? You.
Sorry, jabroni.
No, excellent use of jabroni.
It doesn't work in PvP,
So-
right?
so-
It doesn't work.
It does
So
work in
I'll
PvP,
whack
I
a
think.
jabroni, whack a jabron, and then what happens is my entire team gets some energy, right? And this is kind of a callback to Heart of the Pack from the old Night Stalker. It originally was actually a callback where we gave you stats, but then because we're working the stats coming up, like we decided to just give you ability energy, right? So ability energy, and then they.
My question is, how does it mark people in PvP if it marks people?
The same way as Lorenz Driver
which I can
does
then
before it got
enter
nerfed.
to become invisible.
Oh yeah, I want another
I
Knucklehead Radar.
So I can kind of chain these like assassinations as I move throughout a strike or something. And
So I
my
was gonna
entire
say, if
team
that shit marks like Knucklehead on Invis,
Oh, nice. So you can bring your fire
yeah,
team
we
with
might
the
have
same
another new
episode.
meta, you know?
Everyone goes invisible. So yeah, you're
They're
kind
all
of sneaking.
spicy, man. Jeez.
It's on the prowl. We're prowling through the activity.
You can already see like one of the exotic pairings on the screen too. Those creepy eyes freak me out every time. But on the Oculus, like that's going to benefit the smoke and all that kind of stuff. You can pair with Lawrence Driver. Sorry, Ritz on social media asking for some gameplay today, but we have too much to go through.
Yeah.
But it's like you're embodying that I'm a bounty hunter fantasy. So your gun can be giving you bounties through Lawrence Driver. You're getting bounties through this. There's going to be a lot of combinations in build crafting.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned too, Gwyzen, right?
Yeah. Gwyzen. I always call it Gwyzen, but Gwyzen Vest got a rework. So when you exit invisibility, it emits a weakening cloud of smoke, and then some super energy perks as well. So
Nice.
there's going to be a lot of strong pairings, and then with the artifact. Void features in the artifact pretty heavily too.
You know what? Honestly, you just gave me the best segue I could possibly imagine. We have looked, obviously, we've begun to scratch the surface of some of the new build crafting opportunities you all are going to have. But obviously, we got a new artifact as well.
Volatile flow, please.
We've got the Tablet of Ruin, which seemed aptly named. Now, just as a starting point, can you let us know the general theme of this one?
Yeah. So the theme of this episode's artifact is kind of subjugation and bending enemies to your will.
Yeah.
Essentially, as we are going back into the Dreadnought, it was unlikely that the Dread or the Hive were going to come peacefully, so we got to bring the big guns to force their hand.
Absolutely.
Essentially.
Yeah, it's not about us winning, it's about them losing.
There's no raid perks.
Yeah, so the Tablet of Ruin is there to ruin their day, essentially.
Is that volatile flow fourth column?
Yeah, so I'll call out some
It
some
might
highlights
be.
of mine from here. If we look at column 5, column 5,
Column 5's a strong one.
that's where
we got to go
heavy hitters,
right to the chase.
we have Void. Which one is it? It's called Void Flux. That's it. Void Flux. So defeating weakened targets with a Void weapon applies volatile to nearby targets, and then you pair that with the column 4.
Oh yeah, and then the
Malign
stabilizing rounds.
Harvest, and rapidly applying volatile causes your next instance of Void weapon damage to weaken, which then feeds back into the other one. And it's like if you can get this this engine going, in a crowded room, it's nasty.
Me and my fellow Fighting Lion addicts are going to have a really good time. That's one I can already tell. The Fighting Lion subreddit.
You know what might be the top one Shadowman YT, bro?
Please.
That shit might be just like, when we got heavy on finisher kills?
Strand builds,
That might be it, bro. If that's the heavy break finisher, I'm coming. That's too good.
Because I unravel them, they stay unraveled. I keep shooting them, they're just popping.
Euphemy might be good with this one.
Nice.
And then
Possibly.
because we talked about arc, flashover.
Depends on how many
in
threadlings you
column
spawn.
4, when you gain maximum stat or bolt charge, you also become amplified. Amplified is getting a big kind of buff this episode as well, to its survivability. So really,
So it's
arc in
arc and
general
void
is-
focused.
It's hot. It's gonna be hot.
Feasting, yeah. It's gonna be some spicy arc builds this time around. I
Rock 'em,
can't wait.
shock 'em, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's end too. Dylan, can you walk us through some of the stuff in the first column as well? We're gonna have some new champion rather mods to take out.
Yeah, so I mean, like, there's all these really ability-focused items, which is great because
we got barrier sniper back. Yes.
In there as well.
Yeah.
But let's say like
fucking
we're going
piece
and we're doing Nightfall. You can see actually there's
Overload LMG is kind of like good, but also mid. And non-stop fusions are like really good too.
Like, what sidearm?
Right. Dust off the call.
Now we have rocket sidearms.
Oh yeah, you can use rocket sidearms with anti-barrier as well. That's actually fire.
Anti-barrier sniper, that was a favorite from the past. We just did a big rework on glaives.
I think the only mid one is glaives, to be honest.
So unstoppable there. And then up at the top you can see machine guns, and then linear fusion rifles, and fusion rifles are getting the unstoppable. And then in fifth column you'll see a perk that players may enjoy of particle
It's back.
Oh yeah, boy.
I just got my hands on the,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hear from me. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Me when I start merciless hot swapping.
Vex, yeah? Oh yeah.
Wait.
Okay, don't rub it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't even get it in D1, so it was like such a moment for me. It was like a decade of
Yo, Vex Mytho class is coming out of the vaults, okay?
I'm down. I play.
Good point.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wait, does that work in PvP, bro? Oh yeah, that might be evil. That might be evil.
Vex Mytho class Rain of Fire? Yes, sir.
Not with Vault for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I might be a quick play float lord next season with Vex Mytho class. That works at PvP.
So there are a bunch of folks where, they want crafting back. They want to do something where they have an end goal. And Vault of Glass is a great opportunity for us to say, hey,
yes!
You've been going through Heresy.
Yes!
You want to do some raids.
Fucking Vok
Yes!
Weapons
oh,
to
bro.
Strikes, Gambit, Crucible. We have a bunch of new weapons and trials, a new armor set and trials that you've seen in some of these previews.
I'm crafting.
Vault of Glass is getting
Found verdicts.
Yeah.
Go get that favorite. Get a couple deep sight, craft it, and then you can make that goal that you've always wanted. As you're going through Vault, let's say you want to go through and craft like 5 of the weapons that are available. Then you can hop into Master with all your spoils, be going for those Adept versions, and those have a chance to drop with multiple or more perks in those columns. We've been doing this for the last few raids with craftable weapons, but
oh yeah, I will be farming Vok next season, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I will be.
Call me, bro. Text me.
Intrinsic perk.
You know what I'm farming for Shadowman YT?
What's he farming
to go
for?
for
The Lone Wolf opening shot aim assist sniper 140.
Make it this crazy rocket.
And I'm farming for Fatebringer that hopefully has slide shot, I'm praying.
Fatebringer, Found Verdicts, Predict's Revenge.
I know I mentioned some reprised ones,
Yeah,
but
that's
actually,
like
as long as
throwing
we're hanging
guns
out here in the
over.
menus, Eric, I'd actually love to put you on the spot again and talk about just some of the exotics that players are going to be able to go ahead and acquire
Exotics.
this episode as well. Let's start wherever you'd like to. Which one?
Oh
would
yeah,
you like?
please no rape PvP exotics, please.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Submachine gun.
So Barrow Dyad.
What is-
SMG?
What is that?
Is that a gun?
That's a
Is that
720.
actually a gun?
It's hybrid gun for
Our team does not mess around, man. That's so cool. Yeah.
So this thing is a strand submachine gun, and it is also a monster in combat. So this thing.
If
as I
that
deal
is
damage
like
with
a
it,
good
it generates
PvP
this
weapon,
resource
I want
called
that, bro.
blight. And next time I reload, whether it's manual or I just run out of my mag, it's going to convert that blight into these strand seekers. That
Okay, never mind. It's gonna be ass in PvP, bro. Look at that scope.
And they're gonna bounce between enemies.
Hey, don't. Hey, don't.
Here we go.
It's
So
okay.
we got some gameplay of this right now.
He
Yeah.
can hit his
You can
shots.
also
Hit
see-
your shot.
He's an actual drone. He's an actual drone. There's no way, bro.
You can also see that this thing auto reloads over time. So this thing, rumor
That's
is
nice.
it's partial.
Imagine
But
it
I
with-
want it to be
Yeah,
good in
has its
PvP.
own,
Imagine it with
wants.
PKs.
Wants to kill.
Yes.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
if-
I want
and if you
PKs on that.
satisfy it, it's gonna reward you.
I'm just confused.
but,
Like, if you can craft it and
look
the
how-
stats
yeah,
are
look how
really good,
fast that ammo
it's gonna
goes
be
down.
really
So what you can
nice.
actually do is play this mini game where you
Oh
are,
my God,
trying
it's
to
actually
shoot enemies
auto-loading
to
PKs,
build
bro.
up that blight. And then you can pace yourself to auto reload to build up more blight, and then manually reload to like load all those like seekers. and
Oh my
stuff like
God.
that. In addition, it has this perk where dealing damage to 3 different enemies generates in a short period of time. Generates a large amount of blight.
Very nice. Okay, so equal opportunities to go.
No,
ahead
it
and
actually
clear
might
out
be insane
crowds,
in
but
PvP.
also to just burn down the big bad that might be standing in front of you, or whichever one's foolish enough to do so.
So there are going to be player questions immediately of like, when you're talking about blight and those sorts of keywords, is this weapon of sorrow?
That's a great question. It is not a weapon of sorrow, but you know, I heard another rumor that this thing is a kind of fossilized precursor to a weapon of sorrow.
Interesting.
But I can't, you know, confirm.
Redacted.
This, yeah. One of our top 3 favorite words, redacted. Okay, so this is the one, and we won't spoil how, but players will be earning this one this season. It'll have, you know, catalysts and other intrinsics to earn as well, I assume.
This thing has a lot of surprises. I don't know.
It's craftable.
You can leave it there.
It's craftable.
Like okay. All right. So obviously, the Barodiad will be one that will be getting added to a lot of loadouts across the entire Sol system. But that's not the only one we're going to be taking a look at today.
Yeah. Let's also look at our new exotic trace rifle Lodestar. So this one will be.
Oh yeah, Blue's gonna be hot for this.
This is the first primary ammo trace rifle ever.
Oh.
What?
So cool.
And
so excited.
Oh no.
So,
oh yeah. I will be not missing a headshot. I will be on that shit if it's good.
To a pulse rifle, actually.
Okay.
Wait, doing arc damage from any source?
You know, your standard pulse rifle has this kind of cadence where it's prop, prop, prop. There's like these kind of
apply jolt to any targets.
The rounds coming out, but this thing is more. The steady, you know, EDM beat.
Here we go. Yeah, so
oh, it's a burst.
Now,
yeah, we're womp,
it
womp,
doesn't
womp,
matter,
womp.
bro.
Yeah,
if it
right,
beams,
like
I'm gonna beam with it.
until you run out of ammo, right?
So we got burst sidearms, burst hand cannons. Your pulse.
Oh yeah, Vex. Oh yeah.
Trace rifle.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That might be the new pulse, you know, the new pulse meta.
As I deal damage you can see
It might actually be the new pulse meta, you know, that's basically just the pulse.
The coils of the weapon. Once it's fully charged, if I press and hold to auto reload, or sorry, special reload.
Oh right.
It fires
as
ass,
I hip fire,
probably.
I jolt anything I hit.
Yeah.
So the jolt is a debuff, right?
Oh, so you can just like
kind of,
lay down jolt everywhere.
Charge this thing up, auto reload to go into the other fire mode, and then kind of sweep the beam across a bunch of enemies, jolt them all, and then.
Paintbrush of death, this thing. Yeah.
And then the final perk this thing has is when ADS, any time you defeat a arc debuffed enemy, they explode into a blinding explosion. So it's this loop where I can charge it up.
Real talk?
Enemies,
I might start running this over Sunshot.
With the ADS shot, which explodes.
I'm being serious.
Damages more enemies, which charges it up. And it's
the loop continues. Honestly,
This thing has, I think, a really high skill ceiling.
And this is just this one weapons loop. There's obviously all the different artifact mods. There's all the new aspects. There's the new gear we're gonna have available to us.
I want to know what if Fatebringer has slide shot. If that shit has slide shot, oh my god.
There's some big brain combos.
Praetorians needs Lone Wolf opening.
I'll be counting on stealing all of them. All right, so we also
I would
really
be
quickly
so
before
happy,
we move on,
bro.
we have some new armor as well with Trials. Dylan, can you briefly tell us a little bit as well about the new updates to Trials and the new armor?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So I mean, we'll still have Heresy gameplay on here, but as I was saying, like once you're kind of like, oh hey, I've been playing that for a bit. I want to go play my core rituals like Nightfalls, Crucible, that kind of stuff. If I want the end game PvP experience, Trials is getting kind of a rework. It's mostly focused around the Lighthouse experience. So the main goal, big shout out to Mercules.
No.
For a while, and then Test and everybody too. But
it has inbuilt
is
thrash.
A Trials experience when it's not flawless or bust.
Right.
Oh, it's
what is
thrash
something
built
where
in. Yeah.
as a lesser skilled player, somebody that just wants to go in and play some like elimination, get in, get some rewards, and then also visit the Lighthouse and see our friend Saint. So ultimately, it's framed more around streaks. So you don't need that flawless 7 games in a row ticket to go up to the Lighthouse. Now it's more, oh hey, I won 2
that
games
chess
in a
piece
row,
is kind of heat.
lost a couple, but ultimately got.
Yeah, they
7
already
over
showed
time.
that though.
Now
I
I
know,
can go
I
to the
wanted to see it
Lighthouse,
in
open
game.
that chest, and then get some cool rewards.
I want to see the Titan and the Hunter armor.
Big an emphasis
If
on
they got rid of the wings on the
article
helmet would be
about
gas.
Crucible. There's some comp changes. There's a bunch of matchmaking stuff, but also Trials is our main game, or main focus for that. And you can see the armor that you get on there. You'll be getting these pieces like once a week or a couple times a week through challenges or opening the chest.
Nice.
But we're going to that kind of Osirian, that Egyptian theme again. And these text shaders, great. It's one of those pieces where, okay, I'm going to be spending a couple weeks in here to fizzle. Oh my gosh. Don't carry me, teach me.
Yeah.
But even
just
if
don't go up against me while you're out there if you can do
What do
me
you
a
mean
solid.
teach
even
me?
if you're not high skill, it's
You
like
built
you can
and
earn
made
these
the
armor
game.
pieces. The cool cosmetic bit is like, oh hey, as a high skill
What
player,
is that in
I
the
still
back?
need that
Oh, nah.
representation of what Flawless used to encapsulate. So if you hit a 5, a 6, a 7 win streak and go open that chest, you're unlocking different glows. You're getting different cosmetics like ships, ghosts, the sparrow.
Or a farming time.
Right?
He did not just say that.
How long of a streak can you go on? We're going to have a new emblem tracker where it's like, oh man, I went on a 25 win streak in trials. I'm kind of hot right now. And then
Said Andy never.
Andy saying, hey Dylan, you want to play Discord? And I'm like, sorry, I'm a bit too busy.
It's all right, we get it. You're a big deal, but
I'm not
no.
a big
Thank
deal.
you, honestly, in the interest of being busy. Thank you and yours, obviously, putting together that article. If anyone wants to see all of that in painstaking detail, it took a village. So Dylan, to you and the PvP Strike team and everyone, thank you a ton for getting all that information together. I know we have one more topic to move on to, but I'm realizing in my notes I didn't quite get to speak to the reprised weapons. Let's call out a couple before we move on. There's one in particular I'm actually pretty excited about. It's the return of probably one of my favorite pulse rifles. I've been watching a lot of TikTok. Our friend Epic Defender out there is running Fighting Lion and
Cold Denial?
Pardon me, Cold Denial. So I've gone ahead and personally dusted off my Cold Denial, which is now also making a return. So if you don't still have it from Season of Arrivals, now's your chance. Dylan, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. What's your favorite?
They need to rope up, bro. That gun
I
should
always
not
made
be.
sure to have Head Seeker, and it was kind of a niche perk back then. It was like,
handling and mobility.
One's a bit, but it has been buffed over time.
I got my first re-ran with this pulse rifle. I love this pulse rifle.
I'm gonna be going for Head Seeker.
Yeah, me
again
too.
on this baby.
I got my
I think I still got my Head Seeker.
One of the cool things is that all of the reprisals are going to be dropping day 1 of Act 1.
Cool.
So you can go and get this. There were a few others that were mentioned, or I believe you're about
What
to
roll?
mention.
I think I have Killing
Another
Wind
one. Yes, that's
multi-kill
right.
clip
We can
online.
honestly, I can talk about, or wait, my favorite roll of the next weapon.
I don't care about your favorite roll.
Okay,
No,
fair
no,
enough.
no,
You know what?
go.
No, that's fine. You know what? Message received. I'll leave that for my
What is your
inventory
favorite
alone.
roll? Because we debated this.
Well, there's,
Come on.
all right, it's very close. It's Zen Moment Head Seeker, but
Okay. No, that's good.
It's just a 2-burst machine. But another one I want to call out, one that's so well beloved by the community that a member or a content creator in our community named themselves after it. Whispering Slab Enjoyer. Whispering Slab is now also getting reprised.
Fuck,
well.
no,
There's gonna
not
be
a
lot
bow.
of opportunities for y'all
Get
to
that
go
shit
watch
out of
one
my
these.
face.
Get out of here.
Is there going to be any new roles added for this one as well?
That thing is
Dylan?
trash.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
all
lightweight.
the weapon rolls, they're going to be a bit revamped. There will be some heavy hitters from the past.
Oh,
some new
hell
perks have been introduced over
We should
time.
reprise
I
Falling
mean,
Guillotine
the
again.
Seasonal weapons
Yeah,
too,
they're gonna
I
say
believe
you're gonna
there's,
say it's
more
trash,
No,
and then
they need to
Working with
craft the
Heresy, what are
fucking.
all
We
the
need to
different
craft
roles
the
that can we
fucking
call it on the
guillotine.
stream?
I got
She put a
so
lot of
many
love
fucking
into
guillotines in
those.
my
Big
vault
shout out to
right now.
The rest of the team as well.
We
Like,
need to craft that
I wish I could
motherfucker.
name every single person, but as you said, it takes a village, it takes a city to
Not
build a game.
reprising the
Absolutely.
shit
So
and craft it.
big love for everybody.
Yeah, we're just the ones sitting up here today. There's obviously a ton of incredible peers of ours here at Bungie that are behind the scenes building all of this every single day. So to our teammates and compatriots at Bungie, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much.
Are there any weapons you're looking forward to?
Ooh, yeah, let's really quickly check.
Oh, I'm looking forward to all the new Dreadnought weapons. They look so gorgeous, especially the new support frame. So I'll be rocking that through my run throughs of Nether, just like watching our playtesters like run through the final bubble.
if they give that thing kinetic tremors, that 2 shots to the body, by the way.
You're a better man than I am.
Oh,
obviously.
Yeah, Shadowman
Eric,
Whitey.
anyone
Now
last one
you're
you
excited for the new lightweight bow meta.
You won't catch me using a bow. I'm not a freak.
Honestly, what a distinctive bow. Like, how do you?
That's the guy that plays Stays.
I don't play Stasis Lock anymore, bro.
You know it means pain when you see it. Honestly.
No, yeah.
Do you shoot
Shadowman
arrows from it,
Whitey,
or do you
bro.
just take it and hit people with it?
Dealer's choice. Obviously. It depends whether or not you're a Titan.
Yeah, I
alright,
can't
so
speak. I snap
we
skate with
obviously have talked
Scout
through a
that
lot
of you.
stuff
Yeah,
today.
use
There's
your
plenty
snap
more
skater,
to
you're a
go ahead and
freak.
dive into when Heresy launches
No, I
next
mainly
week
play
on February
Titan.
4th.
I have
But
like
before we go ahead and
5 times
obviously,
Star Wars on Titan
conclude
I
the
have
show,
on
we've
the
got a couple
Warlock
more
right now.
announcements to talk through, including
Mainly just
our
play
next dungeon
PKs
race.
and
Dungeon.
the
The
club.
sh-
This is something
yeah.
you and your compatriots on the community team have told us all about in past blogs and stuff, but a quick recap for anyone out there. Can you tell us a little bit about the Sunder Doctrine race?
Yeah, so Sunder Doctrine, that's going to be launching on February 7th at Reset.
Okay.
We're going to do the contest mode as well. Some people call it a race to the top.
Yeah.
So with our last dungeon, we had a podium finish where it was the first 3 fire teams are winners for second, third. This time we're going back to that format of a singular fire team will be crowned. They will be that first to cross the finish line. The really cool thing about this as well is we're kind of mixing up what is the stake, what is the reward.
Yeah.
Someone
Last
posted
dungeon
a
we did a
code
really
in
cool
chat
hoodie
when
with
you
some
looked at
personalization. This time around we're doing a trophy.
Oh, it's a universal.
It's going to be nice little trophy. It's not not as big as say the raid title belts that you get, but it's going to be something that's very special, customized, like unique to this experience.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Joe, to the Raid and Dungeon team, and then also. Let's see here. Sorry, Henshin Scrap. We're going to be partnering with them to create this trophy, and we'll have a picture of it in a TWID next week, or maybe even later this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be something that represents this dungeon, and it's going to be pretty fun.
That's super exciting.
So.
And also, our friends on the Good Super Products team have been hard at work making sure that all of us that dive in, because I've never done a contest mode in my life, I'm not brave enough. There is some stuff to go ahead for the Guardians to go ahead and earn as well. Dylan, can you tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here too?
Sure. Yeah. So on the screen, this is going to be earnable just by playing through. We have a new. I love this note sheet, man. Work shirt. So
work shirt.
It has a hood, but it's not the hoodies of old. This is going to be a new thing. A work shirt that you can earn. The wristband was a pretty big winner for players. They enjoyed earning that last go, so we have that again. And then we also have our Bungie rewards.
I love my wristbands.
So go in, do all the challenges, the triumphs. I believe solo as well, which I applaud everybody that does solo dungeons because it's just insane to me.
Yeah.
But you can earn these this pin to represent how hardcore you are.
Yeah.
And then we have just general pins.
Oh, hardcore, bro.
Very cool. So
yeah,
Immortals that
I like
go ahead
that.
and get their hands on some as well. Right?
True.
Like,
And then these are outside of like
hardcore, man.
contest mode. So contest mode, you get that unique emblem in game. With normal mode, there will be an emblem. There will be those rewards, weapons, etc. But then
now they're making me want to play the dungeon.
To get into the contest mode, 1995 is the recommended power.
Okay.
Outside of that, it's like if contest isn't your thing, once that fire team finishes first, then we open up normal mode afterwards. So.
Cool. But either way, contests will be available for that first 48 hours.
First 48 hours too. Awesome. And then if you want to join in with the community and have a watching experience, we have the Dungeon Zone hosted by CB Gray and Evan F.
Couple of legends.
Yeah, big thank you to them because this is going to be a community-driven kind of like, hey, they're tracking a ton of teams that are vying for that first place.
Yeah.
They're going to be hopping through that. They'll have some pre-show stuff that's really fun to watch. We'll also have Twitch drops. We'll have unique emblems to earn through that. So yeah, tons of folks to watch, and then tons of gameplay.
It's just actually so fire they did the commentating with fucking CB Gray.
Excellent. Well, everyone as well, if they need to find this was in a previous TWID as well.
Yeah, so we have a previous TWID. We're going to have another TWID just before the 7th to walk through this again, and then we also have like the terms and conditions for the dungeon race and all that. That's on help.bungie.net. So.
Excellent. Very cool. All right. Excited. Can't wait to tune in. CB Gray, Evan F. Can't wait to go ahead and see what you got in store for us. But now we have one more item to speak about. As has become tradition in these streams, we've got one more thing to go ahead and show you. Now it's time to take a first look at the newest collaboration that's going to be coming to Destiny 2, and this one is joining us from a galaxy far, far away.
Star Wars? Ooh! Ooh! Ooh!
This collaboration is inspired by a universe that's
my god!
many of us here at the studio.
I want that fucking warlock.
That warlock thing is fucking hard!
And the hard
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
I can be a PK Titan running around as a stormtrooper.
No, it's crazy! No, that's crazy! Wait! I'm texting Circle right now.
It's a beautiful cape.
Seriously.
Hunters are never going to need to use Super Black again. Are you kidding me?
Don't tempt us. We'll find a way. Yes, this one.
No.
The other ones that you're going to see are obviously all going to be arriving on day one of Heresy.
No.
Up next, Warlocks. Worry not, we've got you covered as well. We've got.
That's hard. Oh nah.
It's inspired by the.
Yeah, the helmet looks worse than I thought, but like it's still fire.
I don't care. I'm about 15, bro.
That's your chance to go ahead and do the same intimidation.
$50 for one of them, you know?
15 bucks. I'll pay for it in Star Wars, my boy. Hey.
And then last but very not least, we've got the Shock Enforcer set for Titans. This one's inspired by the classic Stormtroopers.
Yeah,
I was gonna buy the whole fucking Hatsune Miku shit from Fortnite, but fuck it, I'll skip that.
Cool. It's alright, they're Titans. They're just gonna go ahead and punch you anyway, honestly.
Oh my god, I want this Stormtrooper. I want that. I want to run around as a Stormtrooper.
Nah, running around as like flying Stormtrooper is crazy.
Ready to go ahead and don this. Now,
PK Titan Stormtrooper. Oh yeah.
Including a new ghost shell.
That shit got me hard.
Well.
Let's see the ghost shell.
We now have,
is it Darth Vader?
Let's go ahead and take a look.
Oh, it's a Death Star.
This
my
is
God, that's
this is the
peak.
DS2 Ghost
That's
Shell, as you
actually
can tell,
peak,
operational,
bro.
but it's inspired by none other.
Like
than the
why?
return
Why
of
do
the
they
Jedi
always
Death
make
Star.
these peak
So,
fucking
it's,
cosmetics
been
with
No,
collabs?
no, that's actually heat, bro.
Bro, did
I
you
love
see
the
the
effect that
Assassin's
comes
Creed
out of the
collab
fight
was
out
peak,
there.
the Witcher
I remember
collab was
the first
peak,
time I
the
saw it,
fucking
like, I just,
Dungeons and
quietly
Dragons
lost
collab was peak. Why is every
myself,
collab
honestly,
fucking
and
peak,
I was
bro?
muted
Except
on
for the Doki
Teams.
Doki universe, that one was
But
mid.
yeah, this one has been super
Yeah,
exciting.
but that
Now,
wasn't, like,
there's
really
also
a collab.
more, as a part of this collaboration for you to explore, so worry not. There's also a Sparrow, a ship, emotes, and a finisher.
A finisher?
All
That
to
was
check
cool.
out when Heresy launches.
It better
but
be
of
I Am
course,
Your
we
Father,
use
bro.
this
That would be
to give
so
a
hard.
chance for starters to give huge thanks to our friends here at Bungie that helped put this together. Kelly,
I want that
marketing
fucking
team,
emote.
and
I
our
want that
friends
fucking
over at
emote so
Lucasfilm
bad.
Games. It's been incredible to go ahead and work with you side by side to put
You
this
know what
together.
would be sick as a
And,
finisher, bro?
of course,
Like
to
a
make sure
Death
you're
Star
all in the
laser
know,
coming
let me give
down,
you a
bro.
heads up of exactly
That would
what
be
this is gonna
fire.
be. Will not
They're
be
just
at
frying
Coffee Station
someone.
with the power converters. These will be available on Eververse when Heresy launches on day one. So just want to make sure you're all aware of that. And also, I gotta say, I for one am going to be keeping a close eye on the R Destiny fashion subreddit because I can't wait to see what they got for us after this.
I mean, they're going to have this. They're going to have new Trials armor, new seasonal or episodic armor.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Fuck
have
you,
tons of
man. I
new
want my
Eververse
Stormtrooper
options,
Titan.
tons of
I am
new
running
options
around
you
with
earn.
PK
Put it all together, make something up.
Yep. Awesome, very exciting. Well,
Danny running around with you much as PKs as a Stormtrooper, bro.
But now we can all collectively exhale and leave a little bit more for the Guardians at home to discover when Heresy launches next week. But that concludes it for our
Why are
show
they
today.
just
So
spitting
first
heat
things
now?
First, obviously, Guardians, to all of you out there, even to the individual spamming my face as an emote in chat, thank you all so much for joining us today. These shows are a ton of fun for us to get to put on. We love getting to share what we've been working on with all of you, but it doesn't matter unless you show up. So genuinely, thank you all for taking the time to join us today. Obviously, to our fire team in the back of the house, to my compatriot in social media, Mitch, to Ashley,
Bro, like
to
they
Peyton,
only spit
they're the
heat
ones really
during
driving
this
stream.
fucking
We just get to
stream.
talk about what's on stream. So thank you for going ahead.
Vok
lending us
weapons
your talents.
repriced, bro.
Obviously, to our friends here on the couch as well, Nico, who is somewhere around here.
But a
Obviously,
genuine question,
Nico, thank you for
Shadowman.
joining
How do you
us.
think
Eric,
they got the
Ryan,
rights
Dylan,
for
thank you
fucking
guys. We
Star
appreciate
Wars,
you taking
bro?
Ah, that's true. Sony
Like,
money?
they have to
Sony
have,
money.
like-
Sony. 100% it was
Yeah,
Sony.
I
100%.
I said to Wingwits because he asked me, bro. I
as a
said
quick
like
reminder to close
Sony
things
3
up,
billion
Heresy
investment
Act
paying
1
off because they
just
have to have
next
us
week
fuck
on
Disney
February
to allow
4th. So
that.
go ahead, make sure you've got
Well,
that
fucking
day off.
Disney-
I don't,
Disney
but
is
I'll be cheering
cooking.
for all of you that
Disney-
do. So you can
like,
check
you
out
already
Nether,
know.
all of the new gear,
Disney's-
weapons that you're going to be able to have available
Like
to you.
even
start checking out how to
it's
get
just
some of
such a
those
good
exotics,
move.
building
Even
all
if
up.
they like
Our
gain
collaboration
nothing,
with
like
Lucasfilm
make no money
Games,
from it, and like
Star
all of
Wars
the
is
profits
pretty
go to
exciting.
Disney. It's such
And
a
of
good
course,
move
the
for
Thunder
them.
Doctrine Dungeon race will be there as
Just
well.
for PR, bro.
But that's right. So now we're going to go ahead and get ready to close things out. But before
You
we
know,
do,
that
we're
Hunter
gonna leave the
fucking
stream
cloak looks
live
too
for
sick
just
as
a little
well.
bit longer,
It
so
has.
if you need to go ahead and wrap
Did
up
you
that
see
quick
that Hunter
drop,
cloak on
you can do so.
Shadowman?
And
Yes, bro.
Go ahead and do us a favor and stick
It's
around
gonna have
because
no
once we
helmet,
finish
bro.
up
It's
here,
gonna be
we're
so
raid our
big.
good friend Mactix. So while
I have to show y'all my
appreciate
reaction to the
you and
Star Wars
everything here
collab,
in
bro.
chat,
It's so
save
funny.
your Twitch Prime subs, save everything you can. Go over to him.
Yo,
give
you
him a
like,
follow,
oh my God.
donate
No,
Oh
to
my
the
God.
no.
dedicated
You
gift
should
up
see what I
party
did. I
and
stood
to
up,
help
bro.
the Bungie Foundation.
How did they get the Star
but
Wars
that's
collab?
it.
I don't know how they
That
got
is
the rights to
Now,
that. That's
thank
insane.
you all so much again for joining us. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you all Star Side.